Hey, welcome back fellow BanG Dreamers to the Musings of Maverick channel, where today we are going to be watching episode 8 of the BanG Dream anime. Third season, of course. And before that, well, we just had a lot of information dropped on us in this past week, right? So, a few days ago was the 3rd year anniversary of the Garupa game, which is the mobile game of the BanG Dream franchise. And they had a big live stream, which they do annually, to give out a lot of information, do a recap of the past year, so on and so forth, right? And through that, we also got a lot of new information for the upcoming year. Now, a lot of those are game-related and whatnot, so I'll refrain from expanding on that part, since I know some of you guys probably don't play the game. However, there were a few things that really caught my attention and that I'm very excited for. So, number one, it has been announced that the BanG Dream franchise is going to release a second film live, which is basically a live concert using the 2D characters in a movie format, right? They already released one last year, which was... I mean, it is what it is, right? Personally, I'm actually not that big a fan of anime movies, just for the simple fact that it takes longer for me to actually watch it, and also it takes longer for me to actually be able to do a video on it if I don't want to spoil myself first, right? So, as a content creator of anime reactions and reviews, it's just not, I don't really like that kind of format, but it's new content, right? It's more content, and you can't really complain about that. Now, perhaps even more importantly to me, anyways, is the announcement of new albums for each of the original three main three real-person bands. So, Poppin' Party, Roselia, and Raise as Suilin. Oh, by the way, during the 3rd year anniversary live stream, they got all 5 of the main vocalists for the bands, as well as Rico Pin, the seiyuu for Roka, as well as all 5 members of the new band Morphonica on the stream. So I think that was a first that we had a anniversary event with everyone there. Well, at least all the main vocals anyways. So that was indeed quite fun, and I do recommend to check it out if you guys are at all interested in the in the overall franchise, let's just say, beyond the anime. But yeah, anyways, back to the topic at hand. 3 albums were announced, full albums, for each of them, and they each, I mean, most of the songs on there are rehashed from their singles, but they each do have about 2 or 3 new songs that were previously unreleased. And you couldn't really hear them anywhere, right? Full-length songs. Some songs were only in the game with the short version. On the album, it's of course going to be the full release, right? And so that is definitely great for me. We got all these new songs coming out, which is of course a very, very important part of this franchise. And for Raise a Suilin and Roselia, they also included the Blu-rays of their solo lives. For Poppin' Party, actually, they have the Blu-rays of their fan meeting tour, and this is what gets me the most, they actually shot a new music video for one of their new songs, Breakthrough. And the reason that it really excites me is because this is going to be a real person music video. So not using the 2D characters, but actually using the perspective of the real life seiyus. So I've been a big fan of this franchise, and I'm a big fan of the real person linkage to this. And ever since No Girl No Cry, which was basically the first real person MV in the Bandori franchise, I've been pushing for them to continue to release stuff in this manner. Now, I know it's not for everyone, but for me anyways, I do like the... I'm a fan of Poppin' Party first and foremost because of the seiyus, not because of the 2D characters, although they have grown on me a lot, I will admit. So that is just great for me, and I like to share that with you guys, the stuff that I do appreciate. But anyways, with that in mind, it's time to watch this episode. I do believe this is going to be an onsen episode. So, what? Fan service in the BanG Dream franchise? And not the, fan service as in the more traditional kind, right? Well, is that so or not? Let's find out. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Is this an Afterglow focused episode? What? Vacation. Oh, it's the East again? Okay. Pulled their back, I guess? Oh, so that's why. It's the street gang. And those are the girls who, Again, just for those of you guys who maybe only watch the anime, out of all the bands, there's a lot of I think they each have a member who lives on the main shopping street in the town that they are in. And so those were the respective daughters of the shopkeepers of the shopping district, the shopping street. Actually, hold on. I think, yeah, Pastel Palace doesn't have a member from the shopping district. Right? Kind of forgot. Yeah. They don't have someone from the shopping district. Which probably explains why they always need to have a separate episode that just involves them. Especially being idols and all. They also have a different life from these normal schoolgirls, let's say. Should we be lounging around right now? I guess that applies to Pop and Party. Oh, wait. Oh, really? For Misaki. So is she like the only one who can understand Koharu? Oh wait, don't tell me they're actually doing a video. I mean, so that's how they get everybody together at the same place. Right. Of course. Of course. Poppy. Huh? They have a room named Poppy? Come on, you're already here anyway, Sarisa. Just enjoy yourself. Sweet. Poppy room, Sweeling room. The puns. Rose. It doesn't need to make sense, just go with it. You certainly don't look the same age. Oh. I almost forgot this this layer of relationship. Get it? This layer of relationship? I would love to see Yukina in a skit comedy or something. Of course. Oh, it's her aunt. 'Happy'. Their room name is 'Happy'. Alright, the Baka 3 plus 2. Really? Okay. That was certainly an unexpected development. They're like fans of each other. Ah, it's the drummers here. What? By the way, what that was a weird translation here. It was actually what they said was a drummer meeting. Drama kai. Not rap session.
てやんないとダメなんだよな。かっこいいね。ハロハピもかっこいいですよ。カオルさん全員ふわっとしているようで、みんな芯が通ってる。しょっちゅう幼稚園とか病院で演奏してるんですよね。ココロちゃんたちと世界を笑顔にしたいから。口で言っても実際にやれるのはまた別だから、やっぱりかっこいいと思います。そうだったらいいな。私、人見知りがすごくて、すごく狭い世界で生きてきたの。だけど、ココロちゃんが笑顔の意味を教えてくれて、世界が広がって。
Reluctantly at first, of course.
はぐみちゃんも、カオルさんも、みんな同じじゃないかな。バンドをする楽しさも、周りの人が笑顔になっていく喜びも、ココロちゃんが教えてくれて。それは、ハロハピのみんなと一緒だからできることなんだろうなって、すごく感謝してる。みんなと一緒。ラスは目指すもんは同じだと思うんすけど。マスキさんはメンバーのこと好きですか？うっす。だったら大丈夫です。自分たちもいろんなことありましたけど。
This turned out to be a nice bonding episode with all the bands here.
同じ。私も前はちょっと引いたとこ。
This is definitely the fan service that fans of the franchise would want.
コスパのみんなだからなのかなって。おお、わかるわかる。わかるっす。
Sleeping Lily.
お邪魔します。富山さん？ロックがのぼせちゃって。ああ、私たちの部屋で寝てるから大丈夫。宿の人に氷水もらったし。よかった。この前のラスのライブ、すごかった。なんかビリビリした。ありがとう。あの日は自分の熱さっていうのかな。それが出せた気がして。レイさんも、ロックも、マスキさんも、バレオちゃんも、チュチュちゃんも、みんなすっごくすごかった。
Choo-choo-chan.
迷惑かけた。私、ポピパにはもう迷惑かけたくないんだ。レイさん、大丈夫だよ。強いね。いやー、みんなに頼ってばっかりで。いいと思う。いいバンドだと思う。バンドってなんだろう。バンド、キラキラっとしてバンドってキラキラでドキドキして。
I mean, it's true in a way.
ドキドキして、みんなで集まるとわーって楽しくて、それだけじゃないけど。ありがとう。キラキラはちょっとわからないけど、私はポピパが好きだよ。主催ライブ、チュチュも感動してた。本当？ありがとう。ライブまた見に行きたい。取り置きしとくね。二人は友達。
What?
またお風呂？あっちよ。ミサキとミッシェルの気配がするの。一緒に温泉入ってるんだよ。こうしてまったり。
Earned flower. What? No. That's actually Afterglow.
どうやら入りすぎたようね。
It's gonna be like, okay. Yeah. They basically tried to chalk as many references and fun stuff in this episode as possible. What are Yay! Nice. Maybe they should try playing at a bigger live venue next time. Alright, this is a fun little episode. Definitely. Alright, I don't think... I don't know. Maybe there's some stuff after this. But anyways, as usual, I'm gonna listen to any song because I can. Oh, I just realized. Shuaren Dreaming? Wait, they played Shuaren Dreaming this episode? I did not know this at all. Alright, so is it just a preview or... Alright, it's just a preview. Oh, fine. I will see you guys after this. Alrighty, so that was episode 8, and that was indeed fan service through and through. So, not quite the type of fan service where, they're in swimsuits and whatnot and acting all sexy and such. That's not exactly what this franchise is about. But of course it is fan service because, well, it shows the girls interacting with each other and showing off a lot of it's referencing a lot of different stuff in regards to their tendencies and their funny skits that they have. Just basically, if you are a person who likes the franchise, play the game and whatnot, you watch all the media and stuff, then you will get what they are each referencing here, right? And that is definitely something that is good for fun for the fans. And even if you aren't that engrossed within the franchise, you can probably also appreciate the character interactions that were shown here, right? At the end of the day, it is sort of like in the genre of cute girls doing cute things, and of course we all know that in this genre, character interactions make up a big part of how successful a particular anime is, right? So, the things I'm going to be talking about here are, I guess, more geared towards those who don't play the game, and so who might not know as much about the specifics of the girls and the relationships of whatnot. And honestly, there's way too much that was crammed in here, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but just touch on some points, right? So first of all, the entire premise of this episode banked on the girls from the shopping district, right? So within the Bandori universe, the town that they live in, they have a well, honestly, it's Tokyo, right? But they have a small sort of district that they all are part of, and that is the shopping district here, which is basically a small road, I guess you could say, with lots of shops there. Not the type of shopping where you got these high end and really fancy kind of stuff, but more like bakeries and stuff to eat and those little shops, mom and pop shops, right? So there are 6 girls that consist of that comprise the shopping district girls. So we got Saya from Poppin' Party, we got Tsugumi from Afterglow, we got Tomoe from Afterglow as well, and Ako from Roselia. We've got Hakumi from Hello Happy World, and of course, later on we had Roka from Raise a Suilen. And so they basically, respectively, got this news and then just invited their own bandmates to embark on this journey, right? And so that is how they managed to get all of them together. Now, Pastel Palettes doesn't really have anyone who lives in the shopping district. They're not really part of it. However, they are idols. They are actually professionals here. And so it would be expected that they go to all these different attractions and places for work, right? Sort of, as we can see in this episode here, they were there for work, trying to introduce the place, basically, make an introduction video for the place, which you get a lot in Japanese variety shows. And oh, by the way, Sean Dreamy was actually playing in the background there. It's too ingrained for me for when I see Past the Palace to have that sound that I almost did not notice it, right? I had to go back and watch it again. And so that is basically how they got all six of the bands here, nearly a complete set, right? Now, of course, Choo Choo, obviously, she doesn't really, she's not really that close with all the others yet. She'll take some time. I'm sure that she's going to be eventually she's going to become close enough to them that she will also do these stuff in the future, right? Part of us, well, she must be kicking herself because Pastel Palette actually was there, and she is a huge fan of Pastel Palettes. So yeah, that's basically the basic setup for this episode, right? And then, of course, like I said, the main part is watching all the character interactions and the character tendencies and whatnot. Lots and lots of inside jokes about the characters. For instance, throughout the whole episode, we had the two sets of sisters, Sayo and Hina, as well as Tomoe and Ako. They were basically their usual selves and interacting with each other and whatnot. We got the fangirling over Kaoru-san, which is also a running gag within the game as well. And we have a brief glimpse of Yukina's love for cats, for instance. Aya-chan stumbling over words as usual, and then Chisato saving her. And Eve with her Bushido, right? Kanon with her Fue and getting lost, and they even made some, I guess, even deeper references, right? Such as Arisa and how she and Leia actually know of each other, and also the gold stars, right? If you play well, you get the gold stars. That actually led to Kasumi finding Arisa in the first place, right? Season 1, guys, season 1. And so on and so forth, right? And then, of course, the drummer meeting, right? And once again, the translation there was horrendous. It's not a rap session. Maya was proposing a drummer meeting because the drummers of all the different bands were actually there, which is probably also a reference to the anime short series of the Bandori franchise, Garupa Pico, where within one of the episodes, the drummers had a drummer meeting as well. So that, again, is another reference there, and it was nice to see them have a little chat about the respective bands as well, right? So lots and lots of different stuff happening here, which really should satisfy a lot of the fans. I know I was satisfied throughout all this, watching them be their usual selves, right? This episode was honestly way too short. If anything, we need to have more episodes like this. Also, this isn't really that important, but basically all the room names of the bands were related to them in a way, right? And Poppy and Happy, those are kind of self-explanatory. For Roselia, the room name was actually the kanji for rose, and of course Roselia is based on roses, so that's that. The Afterglow one is probably a little bit harder to understand, and indeed translation kind of messed up there as well. The kanji there is actually a special type of flower called Yutao, which is basically I think the basic premise is that it's a flower that opens during sunset, right? And the kanji for that actually is comprised of two different words. One is sunset and one is face. So in a way, you can also sort of literally translate it as the glow of the sunset on your face, right? So afterglow, which also came from the glow of sunset. So that was, of course, also a reference there as well. We got Raise of Suilin, the Suilin there in the Suilin and Raise of Suilin is actually in the kanji for it is actually talking about curtains and raising it up. Hence, raise the Suilin. The Suilin that we see here on the room name is actually Sleeping Lily, which is, but it sounds the exact same as the Suilin of Raise of Suilin, right? So that is also a sort of reference there. And indeed, there were some people during the early days of Raise of Suilin who were debating over what exactly the Suilin, what were the kanji for Suilin, basically. Which this was confirmed later, but during that time, a lot of people were guessing Sleeping Lily as well. So, basically all this different stuff and different references from the franchise here, and they just crammed a lot of it into this episode. And that is 2 thumbs up from me. Of course, next episode is probably going to be even better, considering I am a big Poppin' Party fan. It seems that the next episode is going to go back to being Poppin' Party focused, right? We got the sort of foreshadowing from this episode where their music video has, I guess you wouldn't really say gone viral, but considering that they are an amateur band that normally plays for a 100% crowd, that is a huge jump in popularity, right? So I hope in the next few episodes we're going to see them play at bigger and bigger venues, maybe sort of step out their comfort zone a little bit, because so far they are still within their comfort zone. Playing towards their hardcore fans that they've always had throughout the years that they have been together as a band, right? So really looking forward to that. And honestly, I feel like Bushiroad here missed out on a chance because they keep on doing this sort of linkage between the anime and real life as well, including the website that I mentioned last episode. They really should have actually uploaded this music video onto their official channel, and so we can actually, it's just something fun, right? And inevitably you're gonna get lots of comments below the music video saying, hey, this music video has gone viral. Hey, it only says 10,000 views in the anime, but in reality it's already 100,000, something like that, right? So that would have been something quite fun that they probably could have done as well. But yeah, lots of different stuff, lots of different references. Overall, great episode, and I am looking forward to more, right? So back onto the main topic in the next one. So there we go. That was it for my review of episode 8. I will see you guys next week. Stay safe, guys, in this current world situation, and I will hope to see you guys again next week. Bye-bye.